Hey Kotaku, we are about 15 minutes away from Kotaku's New York City offices at a museum dedicated to one of the biggest, best, legendary comic book artists of all time, Jack Kirby. This is a pop-up museum dedicated to showing Jack Kirby's work only a couple of blocks away from where he grew up. We're here with Rand, who is organizing the efforts of the museum and has been collecting an archive of Jack Kirby's work online for how many years now?
Well, since 2005.
Right. And you've got how many scans of Jack Kirby's work as part of the archive?
We've scanned more than 3,000 pages of his original archival quality.
And how much is on display here?
Oh gosh, how many? Maybe 10 pages.
So let's talk about Kirby for a little bit. And what's your quick description of Jack Kirby to somebody who doesn't necessarily know his work and his legacy?
If you know superhero comics, you know Jack Kirby's work. He pretty much defined the language of superheroes as far as telling a superhero story on a page across panels through a number of pages. Any of the old Marvel characters like Thor, Hulk, Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, Avengers, X-Men, those all came off of Jack Kirby's drawing board.
To the person who may see the movies but not necessarily read comics, he's not a familiar name like Stan Lee is or some of the other creators, but he's a vital part of the early Marvel history.
Yeah.
Something that struck my eye was this mini comic that you guys printed up. It's about growing up on the streets, and I know Kirby was a bit of a street tough. He grew up hard.
Yeah,
he
did.
The New York City of Jack Kirby's youth was very different than what it is now.
Correct.
And this neighborhood was a lot rougher. Big immigrant community.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this mini comic.
In 1983, Jack was having dinner with Richard Kyle, who's a kind of a fan, publisher, bookstore owner, and Jack Kirby, if you socialized with him, from what I've heard, that he would talk mostly about his experiences in World War II, which were really intense. But for some reason, this particular time when he was talking with Richard, he was sharing some stories from growing up on the Lower East Side. And Richard had just gotten the rights to publish a magazine called Argosy. And so Richard commissioned Jack to draw this story of his life from the Lower East Side. We're really lucky that happened. It's the only explicitly autobiographical story that Jack Kirby drew. And it's in pencil form. He draws himself, he draws his mom, and he draws a fight, and he draws his buddies. It's incredible.
That's great. I never even knew about this.
And it was published in Argosy, and then Tomorrow's published it in a book called Streetwise. And I actually found in my travels the script that Jack Kirby wrote in his own hand for it, because when it was published in the magazine, in the book, it was printed with hand lettering, like by a letterer in ink. So I found the script in Jack's hand in pencil, so I did some Photoshop, and so now we have a mini comic.
His own handwriting on top of his own artwork.
Correct. So it's all in Jack's hand, and I feel like that's a real precious item.
That's pretty unique. That's great. So let's say people watching this want to find out more about Jack Kirby and his artwork. Where should they go? What are some good resources for them to find out about Kirby?
Best place is kirbymuseum.org, and you can kind of spread out from there. We have a few blogs that we host. We have an affiliate site called whatifkirby.com, where a lot of our original art is available for viewing and zooming in on.
Rand, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thanks.
We saw the people that he was planning on working with to do the project, so it was to be co-authored with William Burroughs. We see David Byrne in there. Parts of the game were to star Grace Jones. The artwork was supposed to be done by Keith Haring.